So welcome everybody. This is your first reading, a gift from Spirit for Christmas week, and they gave me two themes to tune into, and one was love, what's coming next in love, and then the other area of life was what's coming next, maybe on the spiritual path, but I like to call it more the path of the soul. They've basically said to me, whatever I want to call it, it will just, whatever it feels right will be right. So we've got 4 rows of cards. We've got the first, the second, the third and the fourth. I'm actually just going to move the camera up so you can just see them a little bit, so just bear with me here, guys. So we've got a rows of cards here, so you just pick whatever you want. I'm just going to put the camera down. It doesn't really move that much, so I'm just working with where I'm at. So I'm actually going to leave all the cards out while I do this reading. I've not looked at the cards, I've shuffled them. In some instances, there's a lot of energy in some of the rows, and actually I had to go back and pull an extra card for some. If I feel like there are cards that the guides are guiding to pull more information on, I will as I go through this reading. So let me just make sure that is, yeah, okay. So I'm going to start with row 1, of course, and I will put timestamps on these later on. So I feel like this reading is all about, this tune-in is all about helping people to bring love into their lives, but also to centre and direct the orientation of their lives, no matter what's going out on the external, to remember that really love is all that matters. Now, obviously, it's a very challenging time. It has been for some time, and for some people it's been many years in the making. Some of the transformational changes that they're making are not overnight ones. I will also do a reading on the solstice for tomorrow, because many of us working intuitively we've all picked up, all my peers and I are all picking up the same thing, which you do when you work intuitively, which is such a powerful day. This building up to the age of Aquarius has been going on for some time, but more on that video. I want to concentrate on love. So the first card that I've picked, the first choice for every group are the Muse cards by Chris Ann, and this card is what is actually coming next in love for you. There's absolutely no time around these readings. They told me specifically, I was like, I didn't even think it's 6 months. It was just, there was just no like time stamp or duration or period on how long or when. It really is up to you. It's really up to you. Now, obviously, in a personal reading, you can tune in a little bit more. Also, in personal intuitive sessions with my clients, sometimes they will get the information and sometimes they won't, because it's not in their best interest to know. It will actually hinder them or block them to know. But I feel this is just more about you understanding your power and able to manifest. But also, if you tune into your own soul, your soul will actually give you a niggling feeling or a sense of a process that's unfolding, or possibly a knowing that things are going to unfold in a certain way, or that you might just be given the next best step, the next right step, or you've got an inkling. Right. So the Chris Ann Muse card is what's coming next. The fairy cards, which are by Doreen Virtue, these are the action, not necessarily needed to be taken, but we do have to participate if we're manifesting. We can't just sit in our houses, in our rooms, praying to those that, I wouldn't say invisible because I don't see them invisible, but those benevolent, loving energies around us that are here helping us on our soul path, our spiritual team, our guides, our angels, our loved ones, our ancestors. They're not living our lives, we are living our own life. So we have to participate in it. Next cards are the Susan Shepherd Black Moon Astrology cards. This is what's going on at a soul level. So we might not be able to see on a physical front all the time of what's at play, this card is a soul message. And then I think these are Work Your Magic cards by Rebecca Campbell. This is where you are orientating towards where you're heading towards in the future. And also I feel it could be an open-ended message. So let's start with group number 1. So let's look at the Chrysan cards. What I'm going to do is, they're saying to me to actually pull all the cards up together. I will show them to you guys into the camera, but I feel like I need to, wow, already this is very clear. Yeah, okay, wow. Right, so group 1 for you guys, this is actually a very personal message. I feel like what you are doing on an energetic level for yourself is transforming love in your life. Now, something I forgot to mention, in the intro, is that this is for people in a relationship or not in a relationship. If I get anything specific or specific for Spirit have a specific message because they're going to put that out there on the ethos to somebody to listen to this, I will give you that. But I also feel like it really does start with within, and this is definite. This is a power card, the 9 of Wands. So this is and again, not gender specific, you could be a man, and you are really stepping into your power. And actually it could be your feminine power. We all possess feminine and masculine power. We can shift in between the two. We can sometimes feel we're in more of one than the other because it necessitates it. We could be in a situation in our lives where it's necessary to garner and foster that masculine energy to get the job done, to get to the other side of something, or a soul lesson or a soul learning, and our divine masculine needs to be at the forefront and the feminine sits back, but they're working together. So this is really about divine feminine strength. And actually the men are really people that relate to being predominantly masculine energy. Could be a woman. This is really about learning to foster your divine feminine more, because the divine feminine is what's really going to heal ourselves and also those around us and Mother Earth and the world and society and the environment and the social aspects of life, is going into the divine feminine. This is an energy many of us are aware of, we've been in contact with, but this is waking up in a lot more people. So I feel like group 1, you also have a message to spread about divine femininity and about how it works, how to use it. So this soul, she's walked through a portal. It's been quite rocky, it's been fiery. She's had to sometimes really learn her assertiveness and her power in burning away everything and walking away into the desert. And I actually got this card for a friend the other day, and I was saying to her that the strongest will actually, the person that came through to her said to her that the plants that grow in the desert and survive in the desert are the strongest, and not everybody, but not every species of plant can actually even grow in the desert. So this is also a message to say going it alone, needing to step back from other people and things, not to get lost, but actually to focus on really understanding and working with your own energy system. So this is about really stepping into the fire of who you are, into the belly of the womb, and your own passion, creativity and expression as a person. So going into the desert is it is nomadic, but there's a time for it. The nomads will go into the desert at certain times of the year when they know it's the right time to set up camp there. And I feel like this is very much about being independent and not getting lost in relationships. But I am going to show you the next card. So I feel like whatever is coming here for you, I feel like for group one, it could be that you're already in a relationship and the guidance is not to get lost in it and to not forget who you are, and actually that you will thrive more if you don't leak energy and put your partner first. So I feel like there has been a cleansing of relationships here, because in the astrology cards you came out with Scorpio and I transform, which is the Scorpio before it goes into the Phoenix. It is in, and it burns everything away. It has to know. So the Scorpio will almost come out to protect you. So the Scorpion, sorry, will come out to protect you. So almost sting those that don't belong in your camp anymore, because you've got the 11th house, which is about friends, associations, groups. It's also the house of hopes, dreams and wishes in astrology. But this card came out upside down. So I feel like the analogy of everybody gets chucked out of the boat. Okay, not quite sure what I've really grown as a person, because this is me and this is what I'm stepping into more. See, again, love can be about friendships. It can be about love for you, which really it starts with when we love ourselves. It's really obvious in our relationships. If we're not codependent, we won't seek out relationships to fix us, to heal us, for people to love us, to tell us that we're fabulous. We already know that, but without it being about our ego, we know that we're lovable. That is enough. And then what happens is those around us that are either for us will stay, or if they don't respect our self-worth that we have for ourselves, they'll just get chucked out of the boat. Well, that's if you do it. So the transformation card here is that your friendships and your association groups are changing, and this is where you're heading, especially into 2021. Now the look inside yourself card is, this is about really simply following the knowings. You know who you can trust and who you can't. But is it that maybe in the past you were afraid to see it, because you know once you see these things, we can't necessarily step away because that means we're in denial. But also there are times where we need to step away from people and we need to just figure things out. We need to get our clarity of thought, of our heart, and we need to tune into that. And sometimes if we're quite a powerful person or we've got very strong inner strength, people can gravitate to us that are looking for that, a bit like a moth to a flame. It's not because it's bad, it's because they want something that you're demonstrating, and that's absolutely fine. But the thing is that they have to eventually find it for themselves. We can demonstrate, we can honour people, but we can't do it for them. They've got to do it themselves. And there's a message in that there for somebody, because I feel like you already know who is for you and who isn't, and it's about acting on that, because this card is like, look inside yourself. You already know, this is like the dark night of the soul here. It's like I've had to go in and I've had to look at things and go, actually, you know what, through this year of 2020 I've actually really started to see probably sides of people that are not great, and a lot of people that have really tuned into the energy of 2020 have stepped back knowing what was going on. There was a divinity to it as well. It's not about judging other people, but it was also about doing shadow work. And I feel like for group one, a big part of this transformation with your relationships is that you have done the shadow work, and that's what this portal is about. You've actually done the work, because where you're heading is, you've got the protection card, and what this is that you calling back your power, cutting the cords, and soul retrieval. So what happens is, when we're around a lot of people that might be needy, or they might constantly be pulling at our energy because they see that inner strength that you have, that calmness, that kindness and generosity of spirit, it doesn't necessarily mean that everybody is allowed into our inner circle, because trust, I'm feeling for this group, trust is really important for you. It is for everybody, but very much particularly for you. And when the trust is not there, there's no relationship. And I feel like whatever you have gone through of late, and for somebody it's over the last 5 years this has been going on, is that you actually know now it's not about making a big song and dance about putting protection in place. Your protection is actually this. Your protection is actually following what you know is true for you and acting on it. And actually a lot of the time when our protection is fully in sync, is that we actually do not need to do anything. We just don't act. So we don't give energy or interact with people that we know are not in tune with who we are now. And I feel like you've gone through, I do feel a lot of transformation with these cards, a lot of transformation. And I'm feeling somebody as well listening to this has gone through quite a big physical transformation. So they might have even felt guided to change their diet, and it's brought a lot of clarity into their life about what they know needs to burn away, that just needs to fall away. And Scorpio does not look back unless it's vengeful and it hasn't processed things, which we all need to process at certain points. We can't just push everything a rug underneath the carpet. But Scorpio burns everything away, and at the Phoenix moment in general for everybody archetypally, nothing stays. I mean, people will stay in your life, but they will have gone through a possible transformation with you, or they've witnessed it and they fully celebrate it. So, and they feel that what you've gone through has been really beneficial for you. Those are the people that will stay. So group number 1, it's very much about personal transformation for you, and whatever you're going through is only going to give you, you're going to tap into more of your personal power in being able to manifest a relationship if that's what you want. And also that protection card is saying to me that whoever is going to, if you are desiring a partnership or a connection and there's nobody in your life right now, is that you are, this has all been a necessarily realignment of your energy for you to vibrationally meet the partner you've always wanted to have. So whatever you prayed for in the past, this is Spirit's way of actually helping you. The personal transformation always goes through first before the partner comes in. I'm not saying the dream partner because there's no such thing, but what I mean is the perfect partner for you in Spirit's eyes that your team know is absolutely divinely guided for this next chapter of your life. So there you go, group 1. I'm just going to clear the energies now, so we've got for group 2. So just sealing that all off. Thank you so much for that wonderful guidance. So group number 2. Right, so I'm going to pull these all out. First of all, 9 of Voices, which is the 9 of air. 9 of Swords, 9 of air. Visualization, Venus and Love, and Answer the Call. Wow, what very different messages. So I'm just going to show you the cards first because I know you can't see them where we're at. So this is the 9 of Swords in the traditional tarot, but what I really feel, I get a lot of heartbreak with this group. So I feel like there's been, I don't want to say, some people have had to go alone for a while, but I actually feel like that there's been a lot of wandering energy actually through this group 2. So if you felt again like with group 1, they were talking about nomads, but I feel like you've been the wanderers of the reading here. That won't be for everybody, but for some people. But the 9 of Swords and the 9 of Voices for me, I mean, these Muse cards have got very distinct messages, but Spirit just said to me, just put the cards out and we'll give you the guidance, we'll channel it. So I feel like for some people, there's been a prayer put up and it's like, I feel like I'm still waiting. Why hasn't this happened? why hasn't this happened? Because I can see it, because you've got the visualization card. So I want to say to group 2, you're very, very powerful visual manifestors. So once you see it and you go, right, that's it, it's done. So I've got to say, for you as a group, really watch what you put in front of your eyes, because it has a very profound effect on your energy, actually, your energy field. But also there's a lot of pensiveness around these cards. I'm getting the sense of, and I need to say to you that you haven't lost anything, that you're not waiting. You're not waiting, because actually you've got the astrology card of Venus, love, all around you. So that's actually saying that. So if we look at, you know, where are we, what's coming is a period of rest to take it. Okay, so the Ten of Swords is like, we get to that point, we think, oh my God, like, when is it going to end? But the Nine of Swords is really about letting everything go and resting, because actually as you do, you're going to start seeing clearer visualizations. You're going to have more clarity on seeing what's possible for you. So I feel like there's a link of letting go of the past here, of the pain, of letting it all go. And sleep and dream time for you is a really powerful healing process. But I have to say to you that the soul lesson here is, this is also for me the card of angelic love. It's self-love. So there's something here about giving yourself permission to love yourself wholeheartedly without another person doing it for you. So there's a very strong message here about, because everybody in the cards here are, I mean, I know in a lot of the cards it's only one person, but with your cards it's all one person, because I think Spirit are guiding you to manifest love. Like, the soul meanings underneath this is all about Venus, is all about self-worth as well as values. It's doing what we love. It's giving ourselves permission to follow our hearts. And also there's a very big nod to the sea here, because you've got water in one card. It's about letting go of old emotions here, because your outcome card, or where you're heading, is answering the call. So what's your soul calling you to do? So I feel with group 2, there's a message here around, there's something that you're not doing that you're meant to be doing, which resonates with your heart very strongly. And it's actually activating love in your life. So there's a very big link here for you with purpose, living purpose, and love, physical love of manifestation of a connection with another person. And when you're doing what you love, they're saying that your light shines through your eyes. And I'm getting a lot of Piscean energy around this group too. So I'm feeling a lot of energy about being in love with love. Like, this is the group that really believe that love physically makes the world move. It makes it go round. And they're saying there's a lot of truth to that. The Spirit's saying there's a lot of truth to that, to the electromagnetic energies. And they're saying that this year, this coming year, there's going to be a lot of processing, a lot of cleansing for people who are going to wake up. A lot of people are going to be abruptly woken up this year, next year, because this year, some people have just gone into that, and there's no judgment here. I'm not saying this. I don't spread fear in my messages, but I do spread truth. And truth isn't always, sprinkly and not doing the work. It's actually more about being present. But they're saying that I feel like group 2 are the teachers of love. I feel like you give a lot of love to people around you. You really, really are very giving, very openly giving with your love. But Spirit are really guiding you here to give more love to you, because I'm feeling rest is needed and the tending of your own needs. I'm just going to pull another card on this, just to get them to clarify for group 2. So is that what you're, because that's the energy I'm feeling, would you just clarify if there's anything else, or, yeah. Okay, the same as one more card, okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. So this is a message of reassurance that if you are alone, you are going to get your happily ever after. You are and really need to reassure this with somebody. It is going to happen for you. It just is. But it's about stepping into your own inner happiness, your own connection inside with you, because we've got the Stand Your Ground card, which is really like my Saint Bridget card here. I think it is Saint Bridget in the card, which is like this. She's like the divine feminine energy counterpart to the divine masculine of Archangel Michael. So this standing your ground is about is no longer wandering. The wandering this is not for everybody again. Always with the messages that you get here or you listen to, you take what resonates, you leave the rest behind. But there's an element of the healing that you, and the feeling of, you know, being settled and grounded it starts with you, not another person. So actually for you, the standing still for a bit is going to help you to rest. It's all the movement and the changes and all the drama needs to go, because in this card, she's just healing and she knows it's coming down, the guidance from above, but she's resting. It's like they're looking over down on her and bringing light. While she rests, she gets the healing. And actually, while you're resting and getting the healing, all your knowings and all your next steps are going to come to you like seeds of light. Just while you just sat there staring out into the distance and just reflecting, the wings are unclipped, she's ready to fly. And just love is all around you. But I feel like there's something here, there's a link here with group 2 about messages that are going to come from Spirit very soon about what you're next meant to do, and it's linked to your purpose, and it's what's going to bring love into your life. Because the soul message is that you are here to experience divine love, not only for yourself but with another person. So yeah, I just feel like for group 2, reassurance is definitely needed. Let's not cover those words up heavily. Happily ever after. I nearly said heavenly ever after, but that's just a nod from them upstairs. Right, guys, so there you go. That's the message for group 2. Right, sorry I'm moving around a bit, but it's just because I get a dead leg sometimes sat on the floor. Really need to change my setup. Right, so let's just clear the energies there for group 2. Thanking you for the lovely messages. And now we're on to group 3. Right, so here we go, guys. Just clear the energies. Thank you for those messages. And we're going to do now group 3. So they're actually saying to me, I don't know whether you're the overthinkers of the group, because they're saying to me to turn the cards over. They're gonna try and look at all the cards and go, is that relevant? And they're just saying, listen to the number that you know that you got. They're saying that you know you got number 3, so follow number 3. Right, so I have to say, when I shuffled these cards, there was a lot of activity with the Muse cards, and there was a lot of emotionally based cards coming out for you guys. So just let's see, let's look at all the cards together. Oh, that's lovely. You got the Star, new location and sexuality. I'm feeling a lot of, this is really funny actually, a lot of like expectant energy of like, come on, I want to know. So there were a lot of emotional cards, but I put them back in the deck because I did say to Spirit, I can't, for this purpose only. Of course, I'll always share the messages that I get. Nothing will ever go amiss. but you've got the Star card of blessings. So for you, there are, I feel like surprises coming in love now, things that you're not expecting, connections being made, and affiliations and introductions, that it's almost like the way that your beloved is coming in. I feel it because I do feel around this card there was I think the Muse of Emotions, was it the Two of Emotions, there was a Page of Emotions, all these emotional cards came out. So I feel like for group 3 there's a new start in love coming. I'm just going to say this, but I'm also going to show you the other cards that you've got. So you've got the sexuality card, so that definitely tells me it's a new beginning with new location. But it also feels like you've had to make a change in either where you're living or how you're thinking. Because the new location card can be interpreted in so many ways. But that's what I love about these cards, is that Spirit will always give the energy behind them, because they have multifaceted meanings. So if you look at these cards and something's really jumping out at you, that's your guidance that you're receiving for you. So sexuality is all about, again, it's like self-worth, second house, and astrology. Now this is actually quite interesting. This is when I was laughing, because you got the astrology card of void, of course, moon, missing. So there's a fear of missing out here with this group. Am I too young? Am I too old? Am I too fat? Am I too slim? Am I too bald? Am I too hairy? Like, you know, the list goes on. They're having a bit of a joke here to lighten the load, because, you know, we can all be guilty of this, especially this year, but, you know, everybody's been doing their best that I know, which is that we need to get a bit of sense of humour back in. But I have to say that you are not going to miss the opportunities to create love in your life. And that might mean, for you, love might mean you live in a place where you've moved there with your partner and you want to meet friends and you want to meet like-minded people. And this is why this reading is open to everybody for interpretation for them. You'll know what it means for you. I'll write that in the info box as well. But this is like saying you're not going to miss out. You're not going to miss out. The signs are going to be so obvious. So this is like a picture of, it looks like the moon, it could be the sun. But I feel like they're just saying it's irrelevant. It's not even important. What's important in this card is the missing void, of course, moon. What that means in astrology is when the moon is changing signs, which it does every it can be even a day, to up to 2.5 days, there's a period where it's classed as missing, so it's not yet fully into the next sign. And energetically, it's where the energies get a little bit misaligned. So like if we're going from, say, Sagittarius into Capricorn, and because the moon goes through the 12 signs of the zodiac over every month or so, so it will have transited over every 2 to 3 days through every sign of the zodiac. So that's why it can be a day. It can be up to 2 days, because obviously we've got 28, 30, 31 days in a month. And if the moon is in a sign every day, a couple of days, when there's 12 signs, it kind of tallies up, doesn't it? So it's always, if you're an astrologer and you work with energy shifts and patterns, is they always say with a void of moon, void of course moon, it's not the time to make a big decision. It's not the time to sign a contract. It's sort of something goes amiss. So what I feel with this is that I feel like the messages of this card is that the soul learning here, or the soul has been saying that you're not missing out. And just because maybe your life has turned out differently, or I don't even want to say planning, because I don't feel like you lot are a bunch of planners, but I could be wrong. There'll probably be somebody in here going, Angela, I'm a planner, and I meticulously have everything worked out. I said to one of my friends the other day, who is very talented, and they were like, you know, I've got to cross my fingers, and like, they're just such a phenomenally creative person. I won't say who they are and what they do for their privacy, but they're creating something at the moment. And I just said, you don't need to cross your fingers. It's just all about a matter of the opening happening for you when you've had the energy, you've had the space and the physical room to do what you need to do. You've created it now, you've created your baby, it's gone out into the ethers. It's just a matter of the process is unfolding. And they were like, oh, that's so lovely way to think about it. And I was like, well, no, because archetypally you came in born with those gifts and you've activated them now, and it is all about timing. And I feel like for you guys as well, that this is the timing is happening, coming in now. It's going to be different for everybody, but I feel like some of you have had to move physical location to shift the energies in your life. And that's not like, oh, if I don't move house, I'm not going to meet the love of my life. No, I don't want to share conditional messages. That's not what I mean here. What this is that you have outlived your old life, and it was necessary, being so connected to environment and energies and how they impact on ourselves and who we are and our soul and everything. I know for me, it really affects me. Even the environment I live in, it shifts me, what I'm doing, my work life, even what I eat. And I feel like for you, where you were before, you learned self-worth, and there's a connection with location to do with the people, the soul contract, the actual physical happenings and processes were all linked to a place where everybody was, that were there to help you, to teach you to learn your own self-worth. Because effectively that's what the sexuality card is. Because when we're happy and we're healthy with our self-worth, we don't need to rush into relationship. If we are opening into a relationship, it might happen quickly for some people. So this is why I say, don't be quick to say, oh, but I'm not doing black and white thinking here. It's different for everybody. But that situation where people rush into a relationship with somebody, and they're not naturally letting the joy of the unfoldment happening, the intimacy growing, the building of love organically. They'll rush in and feel the need that they've got to give everything to their partner immediately, and actually what that is it's a lack of self-worth that's driving that. But also some people have got self-worth, and their partner respects them, and things happen quickly. And the reason this is because they would walk away from the relationship if there was a great disrespect, if there was lies, if there was cheating, if there was this, if there was that. Now, I can't go into every scenario here, but I think you get the gist of what I'm saying. So there's something to do with a location where you were, that you've learnt this, it's now time to move on. And it might mean for some people that they physically have to move out because they don't want to be reminded of their past. They don't want to live it every single day. And again, there's a link here that you're actually not going to miss it now. It's time to move on. It's like the World card, that, for me, in the tarot. And this is really interesting because your, I don't want to say outcome card, but where it's heading is very much linked to the messages, which is you've had to learn to say no. And learning to say no is sometimes knowing, actually, I know this person isn't right for me, so I won't proceed. I'm going to trust my gut. And actually, they're saying that in spirit, really want to give this message that maybe you didn't say no and you went through with it and you had a relationship with someone, but it still taught you that that was a no for you. That you, again, they're not judging. They're not saying, oh, you should have listened. That's not how guidance works, guys. Spirit guides whoever. I get messages all the time for myself, and sometimes I've gone, oh, I've wasted all that time, this and that. And they're like, no, because you definitely know now. You'll never do it again. So, and I have to say, can you see the path? All those storm clouds now, you're not walking into that. So if you've been in dramatic partnerships or friendships or relationships, the days of that are over. You just say no. You know the signs now. You know the feelings of instability around situations that your gut is giving you a niggle and a nudge to go, maybe this might not be a good idea with this. I'm not feeling it. And as one amazing reader, one of my peers was saying in a reading I was watching today, she was saying that it's a healthy act of self-care and self-love to say no to people in our lives. And I'm going to add to that, dangerous and unsafe people. So dangerous and unsafe people can be narcissistic personalities. They can be people that are, you know, we can't rescue people. They can be so heavily wounded that they project all their crap onto other people. And I have a lot of compassion and empathy for people. In the past, I've helped a lot of people in my life that way. But I also know I don't need to do that anymore. There's also a point in life where self-responsibility comes in, and we have to let people figure things out for themselves. Of course, we'll be there for them. But I feel like for you, it's time for you now, Group 3. It's time for you. It's time for you to make some choices that make you happy. And stop worrying that you've FOMO. That's a thing you need to chuck in the bin. Right, guys, so that's your message. A bit shorter and sweet for Group 3, but there's a lot of activity around this star card. So the blessings are coming in. And Aquarius is the astrology sign that's linked with the star card. And we're going into the age of Aquarius. So I feel like your relationships and your connections are actually going to be quite unusual. You know, you're with people who are a little bit out there and quirky. But also Aquarius has got trickster energy with it because it's ruled by Uranus. And what that means is it can bring you situations where you think, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm going backwards. I'm going to miss out. But actually what it is that change of that move, or wherever you've got hoofed out of, or wherever you've been moved on, was actually in answer to what you were asking for. Right, guys. So just clearing the energy there. Thank you so much for listening, Group 3. And now we're going to move on to Group 4. So just clearing the energies away now. And we're going to see what you've got for Group 4 now. I don't know, I've just got a feeling this message is going to be slightly unusual. So we've got the Knight of Inspiration, which is the Knight of Wands. Oh, that literally fell off the table there. So we've got the Knight of Wands in the traditional tarot. So this is like, well, what's coming in? Then you've got the action is laughter, which is wonderful. I've got a feeling it was going to be a quirky message for Group 4. Then on a soul level, it's about abundance, which is ruled by the planet Jupiter. It's also about, Jupiter is ruled by Sagittarius. It's like Zeus energy. It's like bestowing gifts. It is good luck. It's good humour. So there's a lot of upliftment here. And then where you're heading actually, or what's coming, is that you got 2 cards and they were definitely wanting to come out together. So you've got Starseed, what lights you up. So this is all about following your bliss, that card, which I love. Let me hold that up properly so you can see it, guys. And then you also got Trust Your Path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? So there's a real leap of faith, I think, coming for Group 4. Now, in relation to love, I feel like this group are very freedom seeking. I feel like the free spirits, I mean, there's 3 spirits in all the groups, but I feel like there's a free spirit energy around you. So I don't know whether you're feeling the need to not necessarily escape, but to free yourself up. But something is coming in. I will pull another card on this just for clarification. So the Knight of Wands is not necessarily the most reliable love partner. I'm going to be honest with you about this. I don't get an energy of a person around this. I get this as a situation or a happening. I get this as changes happening quickly. So there's a firework going on in the background, and this is a very, very active horse running. I would actually say quite happily, jovially. There's a lot of joviality in these cards because you've got the Knight of Inspiration, you've got the laughter, which is, again, it's very Sagittarian energy, this. And of course, that's the nod to Sagittarius, is abundance. So I feel like for you guys, there's an abundance of opportunities coming in because that's what the soul card's about. And it's about following what makes you happy. And also about, now this is, again, there'll be different types of messages for different people, but I feel for those of you that have partners, maybe asking for some more support and not trying to do it alone might be a bit of guidance they're coming through with here. Because this card says, if you knew you would be supported, what would you do? So there's going to be an element of those of you in relationships where you're the doers and you're constantly holding everything together. I feel like that's ending now, because the Knight of Wands leaves your life as quickly as they enter. So I feel like this is a, you know, something needs to change. So there's a dynamics. Now, not every card group had readings for people in relationships. I feel like those in relationships will actually decipher these cards themselves. There was a couple at the top, but also I think for some of you, you'll already know. I think for a lot of people, these relationship meanings are going to be about your business partnerships and your friendships. So this is saying that it's now time to just, you're going to be more powerful and more abundant if you allow some help to come in. Okay, there's a bit of reflection there. If you allow some help to come in. And I know that there's a lot of cards where there's just one figure on there, but I feel like there's a lot of support here for you coming in, and it's time to take it, because you're being given an opportunity, and it might come across as being flighty or frivolous, but I feel like you need to keep your sense of humour, because it's almost like, I feel like you're about to jump off that cliff and reach for the stars. So it could be that you're going to be the new business owners, you're changing your lifestyle a lot, you've decided to pack up from central London and move to Devon or something. I feel like the message I'm getting with group 4, it's now time to follow your bliss. And it's now time to maybe trust that, because it's going to bring in a lot of happiness and laughter. Because I feel like the Knight of Inspiration, I'm going to pull another card around that and just ask Spirit to give some guidance around that. They're just saying it's going to mean so many different things to so many different people, hence all the cards that fell out. Can you give us some messages though? So the Knight of Voices, yeah. So there's a change of thinking, there's a change of beliefs here, quick changes, activity. Because I don't get that these are people, I'm getting more that it's about situations. And the Sun, yes, there's blessings around it. Again, it's all about, it's a nod to light. It's about turning your back on things that just don't seem happy and healthy to you. Yeah, the Tower. So it's about, yeah, okay, that's it. Yeah, it's about, the Justice card is sometimes about balance as well. So say if you're going through a divorce, because the Justice card, of course, is a nod to legalities, is that it's now time to remove all those shackles and to bring more laughter and fun into your life, because abundance is also not necessarily about money and finances. It can actually be about freedom of choice and expansion on a physical, environmental level. So this is things happening and changes happening, and in this area, so one's inspiration can be about career. It can also be about things happening quickly in general. And then the Knight of Voices. So I feel what's happening for you is a change of action, changing how you action things, moving quickly, not holding back. There's a real going for it energy in these cards, because you've got the trust your path and the Starseed card, which is really reaching for the stars. Beautiful, colourful cards. I mean, they are gorgeous anyway. And, you know, having a moment of thinking, what was I thinking? What was I doing? Blessings coming, but there will be a Tower moment where everything that doesn't work falls apart. So if you're asking about a love relationship, is that I just feel like the Justice card isn't necessarily balanced, but it can be a link to a nod to Libra. which is about relationships and marriage. And actually, if the Hierophant card came out, that's more marriage. It's the Taurus card. But this can also be a link to walking away from a relationship or a legal situation with a partner that just is not working anymore. And actually, after the blessing is to let the Tower moment, as somebody said the other day, just let everything fall that doesn't work. Just let it all go. Get out of the way. Let God do their job. And if you've prayed, it's like I heard a story the other day, and it was one of the best stories I'd heard in a long time, which was very practical and down to earth. And a lady saying that she only prays when she really wants, like when she's basically in the crap, knee deep. And she realised, oh God, I better hurry up and pray now. And it was done with very, not even tongue in cheek, it was done with a lot of innocence to it. It wasn't about wanting to pray to get things. And she was working in a company. She didn't like where she was at in the company. And then she was a single parent and she lost her job. And she went from having a well-paid salary, working somewhere she didn't like. And, you know, she had lots of things going on and she prayed to God, and then she lost her job. And she went, oh, right, okay. So this is like God's way of going, right, so this is not right for you. So let's just let all that go. Okay. But this came before it. So actually, we are the laughter, the fun, none of this Tower moment is going to impact who you are at your fundamental core. And to just back this up, you've got laughter in abundance, and you've got laughter in abundance. So I think your laughter will get you through this, going, oh my God, what was I thinking? That type of feeling I'm getting. But also, where you are heading with all these quick, sharp, taking the plaster off moments is you're walking away. And actually the Justice card can be like act. Don't procrastinate. Act on what you know you need to do. If it's paperwork, if it's court proceedings, if it's act. Trust your path. And because you need to deal with that so you can walk away, so you can focus on this, because this is where you're heading. So actually, I feel with this group, there's lots of different messages, but I think there's different people going to look at this. So I also feel like, say if you're single in this situation, I feel that your fun-loving and upbeat nature is going to bring in a partner who sees you, which is you're like the sun, shining high vibration, high vibes only, guys, as we say. And there's going to be a moment like of, oh yikes, I've actually met somebody here who's this could be quite serious, because the Justice card, again, it can be about making a legal commitment, it can be about drawing up a contract, but I feel like she knows, like, again, I know a lot of the Muse cards have got feminine figurines on, but it's never gender specific with me. This person knows themselves. They know what they want now. And actually, I feel like somebody listening to this might even be getting divorced, and then they're going to meet somebody very quickly, and they're like, oh my God, no, this is too quick. I'm not ready, I still need to. But they're saying you get to choose what you want on your path, because the abundance and the laughter is there. So you're allowed to have light-hearted fun as well after this quite, what I would say, serious time. But also, I'm feeling like if anybody comes in and they're too flighty for you, you'll know. And as quick as they come in, they'll go out, because the Knight of Wands isn't... If it was me and I was like asking about my next partner to Spirit and I got the Knight of Wands, I would be like, no, that's not for me, because I know that's not for me. The Knight of Inspiration is like trusting that first, knowing, yes, Knight of Wands, yeah, not for me, not going to waste that time, because I've actually got an abundance of opportunities. And actually, I have to say, for you guys on here, there's more than one choice. It's really up to you. But I also feel like those of you happily settled in a relationship, I feel like the partner, this moving forward, there's a lot of support coming in. you know, when they see you like this, I mean, of course it's going to help your relationship, but there's an energy of expansion coming into your family as well. It could be that you're about to expand your family as well. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can see this. So, and it could be that the baby is born in July, or is conceived in July next year. I don't know. Maybe you've been trying for 7 years and the 7-year itch is finally kicked in, where it's just the right time to expand the family, and it comes in really quickly and it's like a bolt out of the blue. And the Tower moments there, can you see with the cards, it's like, why, it's impossible to interpret them for every, I mean, because I just feel like there's going to be a few people listening to these messages. Right, guys, so that's me done with Spirit. I'm just going to thank them just for being awesome all the time. They're just the best crew to have around in my house. I love them to bits, and just wishing you a Merry Christmas, and yes, hope you enjoy it. And there will be another reading coming up soon, probably Path of the Soul. Let's just see what they hand over. I don't know what they're going to bring through until they bring through. So let's just seal all the blessings in, all the love, asking Spirit to help us really appreciate and welcome in our own self-love and self-worth for ourselves, because the more love that we feel within, the more that we have to give, and so it is. All right, guys, Merry Christmas, lots of love.